right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Another edition of the Expect Better podcast. I'm excited to have our guest today on the show, local businesswoman, entrepreneur, a woman who's very well known in town for a few different things, Kelly Plunkett. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And this is your first podcast?
It is.
How did it feel walking into this little studio here?
Pretty overwhelming.
Do you feel important?
So important. My head's not going to fit through the front door when I get home.
I love it. That's what we like. We want to build people up. We want to obviously talk to you and hear about things you have going on in your life. And, but you have a couple of really cool things I want to focus on today because I think people in the Monroe community in particular, and maybe some other small surrounding communities, can benefit from what you may have to offer. So Shannon Riley, our agent here, who we were talking and said, hey, Kelly would be awesome to come on the show. So I said, you know what, Shannon, and I know we talked a while back and I wasn't quite ready because we were kind of finalizing the room here. And, I was training Sergio, as you could see, that this took me a couple of months just to get him. He almost forgot to turn the light on, right, Serge? So, it's well worth the wait, right?
Yes,
so I appreciate you coming on. So
slip Shannon a 50 later.
Well, yep, Shannon gets a quick 50 later. Any business that comes from the Expect Better podcast for Second Chance Restoration, we'll give Shannon a little kickback.
Definitely.
So appreciate you coming on. Obviously want to get into these two big causes that you're a part of here and this business that you've basically started on your own. Out of maybe what appeared to be an unfortunate situation, whether it was a layoff or you quit. We'll talk about that, obviously, but you've turned it into an incredible business. And I'll be honest, obviously, we're in real estate here, and we constantly come across people redoing their kitchens or looking to update a piece of furniture or something, and there's really nobody to call.
Yeah, that's my hope and dream.
That is your hope and dream, right? Well, I know you also got to be careful because if you're calling just maybe a local painter,
right?
Anybody can slap paint on anything, right?
Yes.
But you're offering a product and a business that will last forever, that you stand behind, which is, you can't hide.
No.
We know where you are every Friday from June to what, October?
October.
Yeah, we know where you are,
Yeah.
so you can't hide. So
No.
before we get into that, let's just talk. Obviously you're local. I live here in Monroe.
Yep.
How long have you been in Monroe?
We have been here 27 years in December.
Oh, wow. It's a long time.
I know. Weird. I moved here when I was 3. No kidding.
So where are you from? Originally from?
I grew up in South Windsor, just north of Hartford.
So what brings you to Monroe?
Right out of college, I got a job in Shelton,
Okay.
and I didn't know anything about the area. I didn't even know what I-95 was.
Yeah, okay.
When you're from that area, 84 and
84
91.
and
Yeah.
91.
I never went past the Capitol.
Right. Merritt can't, the Merritt.
No, didn't know what the Merritt was, didn't know what 95 was, so I just willy-nilly moved here.
Okay. And what was that job?
That was my first out of college job, was with a computer training company as a training coordinator, which was pretty cool.
Did you like that job?
I did. And then moved into, I've always been in training, always stayed in the training arena.
Okay.
Moved from that into a financial services software company.
Okay.
And
Wow.
and then went to another financial services company, American Scandia, back in the day. And
Sure.
came to be Prudential. Then I went to People's.
Okay.
That's where it all started. I was there
People's
for
Bank,
People's Bank. I was there for
which is
10
now
years.
M&T,
Now M&T.
the dreaded merger.
Yes.
How'd that go? Did you have People's Bank?
I did.
And
I
what was
still
your
do.
experience like? 'Cause
For the transition.
yeah,
It was.
were you able to get into your bank accounts?
I could use my debit cards. We'll leave it. at
Okay,
that.
so then
I
you were
could use
good.
my cards, which
Yeah.
is more than most.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people had a lot of issues with that transition. Hopefully that's been resolved.
Yeah.
It's just a big company and a huge merger. I can't imagine how that could ever be seamless
No.
with that many people. So
It's a lot.
so you moved to Monroe, you've been there so many years. Your husband, Jim?
Jim. Yep. He's from Trumbull.
Okay.
So when we were looking to buy houses 27 years ago, we weren't even engaged yet, and I was like, I'm not buying a house until I'm engaged.
You can't live in sin.
No.
You cannot live in sin.
We actually found Great Oak Farm,
Okay.
which was building at the time. We were one of the first 5 buyers in that development.
In Great Oak.
Yeah.
Oh, get out of here.
Back in the day.
Wow.
I didn't even know what Monroe was. And I was like, do we have directions?
Yeah. Nobody knew what it
Trumbull.
was back then. It was farmland,
It's
right?
so funny to think about, like now.
Yeah.
I know feel like I know every road at Monroe.
The stories are so interesting of people moving in from Bridgeport and Trumbull moving into Monroe, and it was literally just open farmland, and
Yeah.
really nobody knew. There was there was nothing. There was no businesses, and there was literally or very little. So it's cool. It's interesting that another guest kind of came in at the early stages. And actually, interesting fact: Sue Cannon, who is our bookkeeper and basically runs Better Homes here in Monroe, our office. She's
Yeah.
really the one doing it.
Yeah.
She was in charge of everybody who bought in Great Oak, so
Yep.
you might actually
I
recognize her.
absolutely know.
You know Sue?
Now that you're saying the name, because one of the roads is Cannon Way.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's named after Sue Cannon. Did you know that, Sergio?
Hilarious.
Did
So we probably worked with her picking
Yeah.
all our really ugly colors. That
you
we
could say hello to Sue later. She'll be
That's
right
so funny.
downstairs. Yeah, so
Right.
Cannon Way is named after her, and I don't know exactly. You might know what exactly she did, but there was one of the houses. I actually sold it actually.
The spec house.
The spec house. So it's the first one when you come in on the left.
Yep.
That was where her office was set up, where people would go in and she would say, okay, you want this model? Here's the 3-bedroom or whatever. So I think that was what she did, but we'll confirm with Sue
Yeah.
when we're done with the show because she's right downstairs.
That's funny.
Oh, that is funny. Yeah, Cannon Way was
Yep.
was named after her. So that's awesome. So
Memory Lane.
yeah, memory lane. So you're in Monroe. Jim, what does
Jim's in purchasing with
Okay.
Lockheed Martin. He's
Okay.
been there pretty much.
sounds like a fancy purchasing for Lockheed Martin.
Yes, he's
It's awesome.
now his new office is a 6x8
Up at home.
room. Yeah, that he shares with me.
Okay.
It's great.
There's space available if he wants to get out of the
Yeah, I
house.
know. He loves it. He loves it.
Yeah, work.
Sweatpants
Does he
are
like
his-
working from home?
He loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweatpants are his jam.
I don't know if I could work from home.
He loves it.
Better Homes was, we was founded from my basement, right? Because
Right.
it was May. Yes, March was COVID. It was May of 2020 when we opened, and I was in my basement, no windows, and I was working like a madman to get this place up and running in 5 days.
Oh man.
And I didn't like it. I had no choice at the time, right? We were in a global pandemic, but I had no choice.
Yeah.
So now that I have the option, I think I leave earlier every day to go to work because I love going to work, right? So it's interesting, the people that love it. And there's nothing, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just different. Like some people love working from home, and some people just like, I can't do it.
Yeah, no, he loves it.
Good. That's awesome.
He loves
That's
it.
awesome. And you do not
Thank
work
you
from
so-
home, right? So
I actually
or partially
do.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're empty nesters, and the entire lower level of the house is unoccupied. So
Okay.
I set up my little home-based studio down there.
Okay. So you are working a little bit from home, but doing what, bookkeeping and looking for jobs? Is that what
No,
you
I
do? Or
no, that's just for actual physical labor. But
Okay.
in the office that we share, that's where I do everything. So every
Okay.
morning, nobody's allowed to text me between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. I'm not talking to anybody because I have a very specific hour that I set aside to
time blocking?
do my social media posts, reply to emails, do
Love it.
quotes, do confirmations.
Love it. I hope
Whatever
all my
gotta
agents
do.
are listening. Time block it. Doesn't matter who calls you, 7 to 8, you're not answering.
No.
Love it.
Nope.
That's awesome.
And even my husband, he like comes and tries to talk to me or show me something. I'm like, no.
Yeah, not now.
No.
Not
801.
now.
801.
Come back.
Yeah.
Come back. So you mentioned your empty nesters, so that means there's some little birdies that are gone.
My birdies.
Let's
are
talk
gone.
about your birdies.
My son, Kevin, is 24. He lives in Virginia.
Mhm.
He went to school in Virginia too, so he's been gone for 6 years. And actually, they have an M&T bank down by him now, so he's excited for the
Okay.
last 6 years. He's had no bank. Now he does.
Okay. Perfect.
And then my daughter Kayla is a senior at University of Delaware.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they definitely traveled. They went out.
Yeah,
Okay. How do you feel about that?
it's okay.
It's okay? You're dealing well?
Yeah, I keep myself busy.
Yeah.
I love them, and
Yeah.
I call them,
Good.
and it's great to see them. We'll see them both this weekend for Parents' Weekend,
Okay.
and then again we'll go to Virginia in 2 weeks. So,
Cool.
and then they're home for Thanksgiving, and they're home for Christmas. But again, back to the work from home. It's great because my son, this summer, he came home for 2 weeks because he can work from home.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it
it's
doesn't
got
matter where he
it's
is.
a lot of advantages,
Yeah, so-
especially you can see your family work and then
Yeah.
at least go out to dinner or hang out for a little bit. Awesome.
It's been good that route.
Yeah. So individually now, talk about your education. Did you go to?
So I went to Bryant College.
Okay.
My maiden name was O'Bryant.
Okay.
Still is my maiden name.
Still is
O'Brien.
correct. You never lose that.
So that was a great party joke. as a freshman. Like, oh, how'd you get in?
Oh, I see.
Oh, I
You
know.
related?
Yeah.
You know a guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So that was Bryant College and graduated in 1990.
okay.
And that was as a business major, and then got the job right out of college
Okay.
here in Shelton.
Okay.
And
How about elementary and high school?
that was all still in South Windsor.
South Windsor.
Yep.
Okay.
South Windsor is very similar to Monroe.
Okay.
And actually, as far as Board of Ed goes, when I was there, it's called Dergby, which is, I can't remember the name. I can't remember what the acronym stands
Dergby.
for.
Okay.
District, regional, I don't know.
Gotcha.
Something like that. But anyway, they're very similar as far as population
Okay.
and backgrounds and things
Well,
like
that's
that.
cool.
Yeah.
So it was a night when you moved here. It was you felt like you were at home, even though you were
Yeah.
100 miles
I was
away.
in the boonies.
You're in the boonies.
Yeah.
You are in the, yeah, and it was the boonies when you moved here.
Yeah.
People still think Monroe's in the. When I tell people that our office is in Monroe, some people are like, "What is that? Like, where is
How do I
that?"
get there?
Yeah, I think people are overcoming that though. I think it's because now it's built up, right? I mean, you got we have a Panera Bread coming,
Yes.
maybe a what's
Jersey
Mike
Mike.
sub. I mean, we are,
Yeah.
we shot down the Walmart, but we almost had a Walmart.
We're stepping up.
Yeah, we're stepping up our game here in Monroe, which is good. I think you kind of have to go with the times, or you're just really falling behind, right?
Yeah.
So all right, so you're at Bryant, you finish, you get your first job in Shelton, right? How long are you how long until you're in your job that you were either laid off from or left, based on what I kind of read?
That job was I was there for 3 years,
And where was that?
and that was in Shelton.
Okay.
And then from there, I went to it was called Hyperion down in Stanford. I think they've been taken. It was IMRS, and anyway, they're Oracle now.
Oh, okay.
I never
That's
worked
a big
there.
company.
Yeah, I was never there as Oracle because right when they were being taken over,
Yeah.
transitioning to Oracle,
Mhm.
I was home on maternity leave.
Okay.
And I realized there was no way in Hades I was taking a toddler or
Gotcha.
an infant and driving to Stanford every
Yeah.
day with my stick shift car.
Yeah. So 20 something years ago, and Oracle. I mean, when I go to the airport, their signs are everywhere, right?
Yep.
Like they're big advertisers on billboards, and I think they're on a bridge or something
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah, that was 24 years
20.
ago.
Wow. Okay. So is that the place? That was your last place of employment?
Nope.
Or no, that was there's something
so
in between
when I
there.
left, when I resigned from there to find a job more local, and that's when I went to American Scandia.
Okay.
No idea how I got that job. I was so underqualified.
Wow. You knew somebody.
I did. I knew how to sell myself.
There you go.
Apparently.
So you're at American Scandia, and how long are you there?
Yeah, it was probably about 3 years.
Okay.
Because I know that we had big layoffs there too. Somehow I have to stop choosing human resources as my industry.
Yeah,
Because
that's
we got
tough.
laid off from there too
Okay.
with 200 other people.
Yeah.
And I was pregnant at the time with my daughter,
Number 2.
number 2.
Okay.
And
Well, these things are following you around.
yes, exactly. So got laid off from there and stayed home for. Oh, I actually had my interview for People's and was having contractions.
All right.
Thank God I got the job.
Good thing.
because I was like, okay, we need to go now.
Yeah. Time to get out of here.
So I was definitely interviewing late into the
Wow.
pregnancy, as you can tell.
Yeah.
So had the baby the next day. And then that was People's, and I was there 10 years. And
Okay.
again, huge layoffs.
Oh.
A couple hundred
Oh,
of us.
you 0 for 2 right now.
Wow. And it was the first day of summer break for the kids. I had a sitter lined up for the summer. It was my niece. And I walked in on day one. I'm like, Mama's home for the summer. And they looked at me like, what?
Yeah.
It's day one. So I stayed at home for a little bit, for less than a year,
Okay.
dabbling in some other stuff.
Did you like being a stay-at-home?
No.
Okay.
No, it was weird, but it was nice during the summer because when you think about when your kids get older, you'll see they're at a weird age when they're 13, 14 years old. They're too old for a babysitter, but they're too young to work.
Yeah.
They can't go out anywhere.
Yeah.
They
We
can't.
just leave them at home now.
Yeah.
We lock them in and we put the cameras on.
It's perfect. DCF
Yeah.
is an
I
amazing
hope
babysitter.
DCF is not watching or listening to this.
So yeah, it was a hard age for them where they couldn't go out and they couldn't drive. They were too old for a babysitter, but too young to not have a babysitter. So
Right.
it was good.
Oh,
It
it's
was
good.
good to be home.
Okay.
And I just kept trying to figure out what I wanted to
Okay.
do. And at that point, I can transition now if you like into
Sure.
second chance.
No, so I want to hear
Right.
when, because and correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just reading from internet, right? So like, when did you get laid off again?
Yeah, so I got well, no, so People's was my last job. That was
Okay.
11 years ago.
Okay.
And trying to figure out what I want to do with myself, I realized there was no way I was going back to corporate
Okay.
because I'm tired of HR layoffs.
Okay. This is a
H-
beautiful segue
It
into
is,
second
it
chance.
really is.
And is it named after giving yourself a second
You
chance?
just wait.
Oh, I almost spoiled
There's
it.
the
Almost a
story.
spoiler
There's the
alert.
story. So I needed a desk. I hadn't interviewed in 10 years, and even that wasn't really an interview. It was lose my job here
Yep.
and go the next day and interview.
But you're a stay at home now for about a year, and you're like things are popping through your head that you got to do something.
Just about.
Okay.
It was
Roughly, yeah.
hard feeling lost. Like I
Mhm.
don't have a purpose. I don't have a place to go.
Sure.
I knew I needed to do something, and I was in that in between stage. So I needed a desk, and I went up to the Habitat for Humanity store in Stratford
Yeah.
and found a beautiful orange oak 1970s kitchen table.
Okay.
And just started having fun with it. Sanded it down, stained it, did some stenciling of
Okay.
some paisley design. Just had fun with it.
Yeah.
No idea what I was doing.
Yeah. It's how you learn.
Took pictures. Facebook had started back in the day. Took pictures of the desk, posted it on Facebook with the whole premise of, hey, everybody, anyone know a HRAS position? That was the category of work that I did.
Human
Like
resource
information system.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody have some leads on some open positions, really looking to get started back in my job search? And the comments kept coming in. Love the desk. Love the desk. Are you selling the desk? Can you do my desk? I mean,
Wow.
the comments just kept going and going, and they
Okay.
love the desk because it is pretty cool and
Yeah.
unique. And I'm like, what are they talking about? People focus. I need a job.
Yeah. I need a job.
Need a job. And from that, a couple of people asked me to refinish pieces for them or their kids. I said, okay, that's fine. I'll do this on the side.
Okay. How much did you sell that first desk for?
I
You
did, and I
remember?
still have
You
it.
still have it?
It is my baby girl.
Were
Yes.
there any offers on it?
Yeah, but I didn't care. I
Like
loved it.
500, 200? What was it?
Back in the day, it was probably 200.
$30,
Yeah.
200 bucks? Oh,
Yeah,
good.
probably, but I love it.
Yeah.
It's like
It's time
it's
consuming
where I
work,
sit.
right?
Yeah, it was. It was
Sanding alone. I mean,
oh,
my wife did
everything.
a sanding project once. It was, I mean, there's so much work.
Oh yeah,
Makes a
sanding,
mess.
staining, stenciling.
Yeah.
It was great. But
Cool.
that is my favorite thing I've ever refinished. For
Gotcha.
sure.
So you still have it. That's
Still have
awesome.
it every
So-
day.
So you noticed that there seems to be some desire for,
Yeah, so I ended up just buying pieces off. I was doing a few refinishing projects for people, and then I was like, oh, I like this. Let me play around a little bit more.
Mhm.
Getting something off the tag sale sites. People were dropping off furniture in my driveway.
and saying,
Hey,
refinish this for me?
hey, thought you'd like this on my way to Goodwill.
Okay.
Like, oh, okay, there's something sitting in my driveway.
And were you taking all that furniture? Like, did you
Yeah.
want it?
Yeah, my husband wasn't really thrilled because he
Yeah.
lost his garage space, but
So your garage is now loaded with furniture.
back in the day.
Okay.
And then Sandy Hook happened, and I started volunteering with a furniture donation center. So rather than me buying pieces, I would go there, and they had some pieces that were donated that were in really bad shape. So I would take them home, refinish them, bring them back,
Okay.
and they could sell them for more.
That's a local place?
Yeah, well, not anymore. It was
Okay.
there for a short time. And I was starting to build a little client base, so I would have them just meet me there. I would
It's
volunteer.
all word of mouth.
Yeah, I
You
was
built your
volunteering.
business on word of mouth.
Oh, it's all word of mouth.
Yeah.
All word of mouth.
I saw somewhere online like 95% of
Oh
your.
yeah, I think it's even higher. Like,
Okay.
it's very hard to find somebody that's doesn't have a connection to me.
Right. So you're not on
No,
Angie's list or anything like that?
No,
You do even want those people that are looking for the cheapest?
No.
You know, who's the cheapest? What, you
No.
know,
I
I need it by tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
No.
And it's
Not with
even
second
hard because I
chance.
probably have partnered with a number of real estate agents over the years.
Mhm.
But it's so hard because they say, "Oh, my client wants to put their house on the market in 2 months." I'm like, "Well, I have an 8-month wait list."
Is that what you have right now?
Right now, I'm booking into May. Yeah,
You're 8 months out.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
What are we doing wrong, Sergio? What are we doing wrong? I mean, we're sitting there. You call us, list your house. I'm there tomorrow. Like, we go right away. I mean,
Yeah.
this woman is 8 months.
It's nice knowing I
That's
don't have to go back to
unbelievable.
corporate for, every quarter I look and I go because I still have the business mindset. Don't forget
Yeah.
because I have an MBA as
Okay.
well, so I'm always looking at
So where'd you do that? We skipped over
Oh,
that. Bryant,
sorry, I went to
you're too smart. Don't.
Sacred Heart.
Oh, I'm a
Sacred Heart.
pioneer
I know
myself.
you are.
Wow.
Sacred
Okay.
Heart. Yep.
So you have an MBA from their business.
hmm
Was that the Welch School of Business at the time, or
I don't
no?
think so because
He came later, right? The big
yeah,
GE guy.
I actually took my last class when my son was 4 months old, and I
Okay.
was super excited because that could put on my old jeans
There you go. There you
as I
go.
walked into class.
Yeah, there you
Took
go.
a semester off to have a baby, but
That's okay.
that was it.
That's a good excuse
Yeah,
to
so that was
take a
24
break.
years ago. Yeah.
It took me 13 years to do the 1-year master's program at Sacred Heart University. I had to reapply to the program twice, but I'm okay. I'm
It's
comfortable with
okay.
who I am. It's part of my journey.
It's exactly. It's
So
all
you
a
so very
journey.
smart then. So you have your
Yeah.
MBA and you're booked out 8 months. That's incredible. So if
Yes.
somebody's looking to get their kitchen done or a piece, they better get on your calendar.
Yeah.
If someone, do you have people who are like, look, I need this now. I'll give you whatever you want, and you just have to be like,
Sorry.
sorry, get in line.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
I
what are we
know.
doing wrong?
It's brutal.
What are we doing?
I've learned over the years to have some boundaries
Yeah,
and make sure I'm taking time for myself. It is a very physical job,
yeah.
for sure.
Well, so you're doing it
Very
all
physical.
yourself?
Yes, my husband is my unpaid
Okay,
unpaid employee. So
okay.
he does help. He helps me on install day, and he helps me
That
with any of
second
the
set of
cleaning
hands
and
has got to come in.
it's great.
Yeah,
It's great because it's vested. He's vested in
right.
it as well. He helps do the installs. He helps with sanding and cleaning
Yeah,
as I need to. He
yeah.
doesn't work on Fridays. Lockheed doesn't have.
Perfect.
They do 4-day weeks.
So you work them on Fridays.
They do
You make sure all your install dates are Fridays.
always.
Always. It's brilliant.
It's like so you think my time blocking is good. I can tell my clients that just signed their contract in May. I'm going to be there on May 11th at 9:15 to start your project, and we will finish by 1 o'clock
Wow.
on May 21st.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's hardcore. I'm not like a regular contractor, like a painter or
Yeah.
carpenter who's
When you
subject to
vision
things taking long.
contractor, do you picture this? Like, you're not if you said I'm going to get somebody to do my cabinets, and then you show up, I'm going to be like, it sounds horrible. I probably shouldn't say this, but like,
No,
right?
right.
Is
Who
that-
likes? I mean, I think that's part of the draw is being woman owned, and I don't
love
have
it.
I don't have a crew that comes in and does the work, and I just stop by and supervise. Like it is me, and we have talked a number of times about expanding, bringing on a team,
Yeah,
renting space,
sure.
and at the end of the day,
Yeah, it's you.
I
Well, if you're
just-
happy and
I'm
you're
good.
busy, growth you have to prepare yourself for and want that.
Yeah.
Because when you grow, I mean, I'm in a growth mindset, right?
Yes,
So it's
yes.
taking on partners, it's giving up control.
hmm
Sometimes if you give up control to the wrong people, you get a lackluster product,
Right.
which you clearly would never let happen. So I
No.
think that's going to be why.
Well, and you appreciate the concept that it's quality too. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I'm a huge mindset, and I'm sure you are too. Know
Mhm.
me, like me, trust me.
Sure.
If you know me, you like me, you're gonna trust me
hmm
with whatever
Yeah.
I'm
No.
supposed to be doing for
100%.
you. Whether
Yeah.
it's the farmer's market or second chance, that's just how I live.
Yeah.
Like I want people
that's-
to
you're
be,
clearly
trust
doing it.
me to do that. Yeah.
You're clearly doing it.
Yes.
If you're booked out 8 months,
Yeah.
then you are clearly. What is like roughly not? What does that look like? Like in terms of, is that like 8 kitchens? Is
So
that
I
like
do 30 to 32 kitchens a year.
okay? All right.
That's my goal. So it's about every other week.
Okay.
Sometimes it's some overlaps.
Have you had any problems with supply chain with COVID for any things that you? I mean, when I was on your website, right, I looked up your services, right. So it
Yeah.
says cabinet painting, finishing touch, furniture restyling,
Mm-hmm.
DIY classes.
Oh, I
You teaching other
loved
people
that.
how to
I
do this,
loved
so
that.
you
I
don't have to bother.
did. No,
That's awesome.
so it's interesting because with the corporate training background,
Mhm.
it was a no-brainer, and I'm a huge DIY fan, obviously. So I took my HR background, my training background, and I wrote curriculum: how to refinish your own furniture, how to refinish your own cabinets, and I would bring 10 people in. Charge a pretty penny, give them a curriculum, like a whole workbook. It was
Mhm.
so I took all my adult learning theory knowledge and I was like, okay, this is the kinesthetic learner, this is the auditory learner.
Yeah,
this is...
visual
So
learner, all that
yes,
stuff.
I took all of that information and I built this amazing 2.5 hour workshop.
Okay.
And I gave them a cabinet door or they could bring one. So it was very hands-on training. You
Wow.
got to practice.
Wow.
I would provide all of the materials, and then they had a workbook that had a whole step-by-step process
Okay.
and shopping list of everything they needed, plus MBA background, a project plan that
Okay.
said, okay, if you were going to clean your doors today, this is how long it's going to take you to clean per door. So
Wow.
I don't want to hear,
That's serious time block.
yeah, it was great.
I
I
love
don't
it.
want to hear, oh, I can't do this because I'm
Mhm.
constantly running my kids around to soccer. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you have a half hour
Yeah,
between
yeah.
soccer drop off and pick off.
You're holding
And
people
it's,
accountable. I like
oh,
it.
absolutely.
Call
And
them out.
it takes 4 minutes or whatever to do,
Yeah.
clean this.
Yeah.
You can get 6 cabinet doors done between drop off and pick
Oh,
up.
I love
No
it.
excuse.
And
So
by the
it was
way, I
great.
think I just got another job. Are you busy in 9 months? Because it says that you do banister updating here,
I
and we need.
haven't done that in a long time,
Well,
but
good,
yeah,
because we need
yeah.
to do our banisters. Then the steps that we walk up there.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably the only part of this building that I haven't touched
That's so funny.
is the banisters. So I'm gonna book you when we're done. 9 months from now. What's 9 months from now?
It's
What's going
May.
on?
May.
May. All right. So I hope you're
And
available.
that is the thing is I've transitioned into things that fuel me as
Yeah.
well as keep me focused. So I
Yeah.
really dropped off doing the furniture quite a bit.
Yeah. So you're doing kitchens.
Yeah,
And
it's primarily kitchens right
Okay.
now and doing
Yeah.
some consulting. I partner with some other subcontractors like
Yeah.
carpenters and real estate agents and
Sure.
interior designers.
Well, I'm definitely
are
going to let every agent
streamlined.
that we work with and every agent that works at Better Homes know about your services because,
There we go.
and actually, we're going to send over to Sergio if you want to send it to me. The before and afters you were just sharing with Jeff Fulcino and Adam Roy out there.
Yeah.
I mean, the work's unbelievable. So I think, and what Sergio is incredible. We can even fly in some before and afters
Ooh.
while we're talking, so people can actually see.
Perfect.
Because what you just showed me was like that old school kind of brown cabinet from 1980 with the weird shaped black hinges on the exterior of the cabinet,
Yes.
and the finished product looks like a brand new shaker kitchen that was custom installed
Yeah.
from a place, high end, like these big places, and it was probably half the price, right?
Right.
Or I don't know,
Oh,
whatever it is.
even more. I mean,
Yeah.
a new kitchen these days, even just coming from Home Depot, is
Yeah.
going to be 20,000
Yeah,
plus.
and there's usually
Plus,
nothing wrong with the
20,000
bases.
just for the materials, and then you
Right.
still have to have somebody do all the install
Yeah.
and drill the holes and get the hardware and
Yeah,
the plumber
yeah.
and the
Well, listen.
countertops. Like it's people think. I think that goes back to when you're looking at costs. Yeah, I'm not cheap, but I'm not expensive either. When you look at
The finished product.
pulling everything out,
Yeah.
floor you're going to do with flooring, plumbing, electrician, tiling, backsplash, countertop, like the
And you're doing
whole
all that.
thing. Well, it's not that I'm doing that, but if you're
Oh,
replacing
gotcha.
a
I
kitchen,
see what you're saying.
it's
You have
not
to do
just
that. Got it.
20,000 for new cabinets. So we did start about 3 years ago, also offering replacement door program.
Okay.
I partnered with an nice Amish company down in Ohio,
Nice.
and they refinished the doors for me. So now I can squeeze in another kitchen and not have to deal with the manual labor side of it too. And
Nice. I heard the Amish is the way to go.
the
I have a
their
client
finishes
pricing
are
out a
great.
garage, and it was like 130,000, like locally, and they went to the Amish, and it's like 70.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a huge garage,
Yeah.
but for that kind of money, but what a difference.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do quality work and they come to me already finished.
Yeah.
So
Perfect.
now I'm just painting the bases and the frames.
Wow.
And the doors
Good.
are already coming, doors and
Yeah.
drawer fronts. So that's been a great option for people who have less than desirable
Yes. Doors.
designs, doors that
Yeah.
are broken.
And you mentioned you kind of prefer to work local. What would you say is your your service area? And by the way, I hope that we're going to get this podcast out. We're going to get this to the Monroe pages, and I'm sure Shannon will be all over
Oh,
helping
she
us get it out, right? So the Monroe residence page, Monroe mommies, or Monroe daddies, Monroe whatever.
Okay.
But you like to kind of stay local?
I prefer Trumbull, Monroe, Newtown, Shelton.
Okay. Yeah.
I like to be
Fair enough.
within 20 minutes because
Yeah.
if I forget something, I want to get home
Yeah.
and grab it. Or in between the coats drying, I'm like,
Yeah.
ugh, I got an hour to kill.
Yeah.
Let me go run home or
Yeah.
do an errand or something. So I do like to go local. I'm not a painter who goes in New Canaan one day,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
up to Washington another day, and
Yeah.
East Hartford another day.
Yeah.
No. Well, and that has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the referral rate is you go on one of these local Facebook pages looking for ideas
Yeah.
or for references. I'm going to be one of the top people
Oh yeah,
because I'm
you're out always.
trying to saturate those 4
Yeah, and you're
markets.
doing it. I mean, you're 8 months
No.
out. Let's be
Right.
real. That's
Right.
ridiculous. I
Right.
mean, that's awesome.
Right.
And if people are waiting, they know that what they're going to get. If they're going to save 20,000, why wouldn't they consider second chance for a kitchen,
Right.
redo for half the price?
And it
Like,
goes back to the know me, like me, trust me. If I have plenty of friends who refer me on those pages who I've never done work for,
yeah,
but they know me and like me, so they're going to
yeah,
trust me that I'm
yeah,
going to take care of them.
yeah. What else is cool is like obviously someone's redoing their kitchen. They may redo their countertops or whatever, and
Yeah.
sometimes the general contractor, right,
Yep.
will mark that up,
Right.
whatever the amount, and as they should. They're
Yeah.
they're doing work. But what's cool is if you're going to take care of the cabinets there, and then I think sometimes the homeowner can take they can be happy knowing that they can just go to Home Depot or a granite place and they're not getting upcharged,
Right.
and they're able to pick and choose, and once the cabinets are done. So I think this is cool, and I want to make sure that everybody knows about this option, and I'm gonna make sure all our agents know to offer this
Right.
to if they can wait, and if they're not obviously it's not going to happen tomorrow, but I think any contractor right now who's good is booking a couple of months.
Right.
8 months is just insane.
Right.
That's
Yes.
awesome. That
And
means your product's incredible.
I have a great network of
Mhm.
folks who I have a tiler, an electrician, a plumber.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh, you refer, you mean?
yes.
Okay.
So I don't get involved in their billing
Yeah,
or
yeah.
their pricing, but I have a team that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
run with. So
That you
when
know it's going to look nice.
exactly, and they know what I'm expecting when I walk in.
You don't want to do an amazing kitchen and some tile guy goes in there and takes like the metal thing and puts it on the whole back, and then
And-
you have to tell everyone you did that.
And most of the times, 95% of the times, probably my customers will take my references
Oh yeah,
because
they trust you.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
If you
Same
trust
here.
me, then you're going to trust
Same
this
here.
crew because and the crew that I run with, they know don't
Yeah.
mess with me.
I used to
Because we'll
love
be
giving
out.
referrals out until one of my hardwood floor guys burned down one of my good friend's
Oh.
parents' house. So
Yeah.
I don't give referrals anymore.
Yeah, that's
Um,
that's a problem. I
yeah,
don't
that's a
I
problem.
literally just give the names,
Yeah.
which is great. So I'm not involved if they're not
Yeah,
happy.
exactly.
But if they mess
Yeah.
up, yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
be out. I've definitely not
Yeah,
continued partnering with.
yeah, it's
with a
smart.
few
You don't want
people.
that liability
It's my
or
reputation.
exactly.
It's my reputation.
Yeah, just
so-
say here's who I work with. They're great.
Yeah.
Contractors are just so hard to get right now that I just say here. I do give referrals still, but try not to do it too much. What would you say is the general setup if someone's like, okay, I want to do my kitchen, it's going to be 10 grand. Do they pay half up front? Do they give you a deposit, or you just like pay me when I'm done?
So
How do you typically do
I'm
that?
a little different.
Hmm.
Shocker.
Yeah.
I've heard of a lot of horror stories from folks over the last 2 years with COVID where contractors will say, okay, I need 50% up front,
Okay.
and then they disappear.
Yeah.
Or I need everything up front,
Hmm.
and then they disappear.
It's a lot. It's common.
I can't handle that. So it's a $250 deposit.
Okay, that's doable.
And the balance is due at the end. So I know
Perfect.
it's not normal. It's not normal, but it's how I like to work.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I don't
that's
have to worry
huge.
about it. Yeah.
That's huge because it shows that you're not trying to just get the quick dollar, and some people live off
I
the
know.
deposit money. That contractors live on that deposit money. I just bought a Bernese Mountain Dog. You're like, where are you going with this? But I just bought a Bernese Mountain Dog from, where was that dog from? Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
I don't remember. Anyway, I bought it.
Yeah.
And my test to see is this breeder for real or not was, how much is this lady going to ask me for this dog? That's
Mhm.
whatever the dog costs.
Yeah.
And nominal. She
yeah.
was like, give me $250 or $500. I don't remember.
Mhm.
And then the rest you'll give us when you pick the dog up, inspect the dog, get the paperwork, then you pay the rest.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the money. And
Right.
that's what actually,
Right.
because you can get scammed now.
Right.
People are getting scammed all over the place. So
Yeah.
I'm like, this is weird. I found a website online.
Yep.
And I have no idea who these people are, and I'm sending them money.
Yeah. Right. And it is unnerving. And that's why I won't collect a contract. I won't collect a deposit until I've literally come out there, inspected your kitchen, walked you through the entire process,
Yeah.
build a relationship with you.
Yeah.
And then I tell them, I don't want a deposit now.
Yeah.
Like, you guys talk about it. Email me or text me later and let me know
Yeah.
whether
That's
you're,
awesome.
you're
That
in or
says so
not, and
much.
then I'll send you the link to the contract. And
Yeah.
that's
That
literally
says so
it.
much. Tennessee, by the way, my dog is from.
Oh,
Not.
okay.
I was confusing
Perfect.
you. So awesome. So again, I think that's awesome. I think people, I think you're a great option if anyone's looking to get a kitchen redone or priced, you know, a little more affordable than ripping the whole thing out,
Yeah, definitely.
they should definitely reach out to you.
Yes, they should.
Yeah, and your website is
Second Chance
secondchancerest.com.
Restoration. Oh, right. You wanted to know how that came about. You
Yes,
want that for
I
4
do.
seconds? Okay.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, I was looking for a job.
Yep.
My sister, who was 39 at the time, had just been diagnosed with breast cancer.
Sorry.
Um, and a friend of mine, we love dogs, and we had 3 rescues ourselves. And a friend of mine introduced me to doing dog rescue transport
Okay.
about 10, 11 years ago. So every
Flight nanny.
yes. So we would just go pick up the dogs in New York
Hmm.
and keep them overnight. And then the next morning they would move on up the train to
Yeah.
wherever their
Forever.
rescue group was
Okay.
that they were headed to for their forever homes. So that's basically, I was looking for a second chance, you know, a different kind of role. My sister,
Hmm.
she has a second chance at
Yeah.
changing some things around.
Sure.
The dogs,
Yeah.
second chance.
Love it.
And then the furniture. At
Yeah.
the time, it was furniture. So giving furniture a second
So
chance.
there you
We
have it. The
actually have a
history.
little jingle about it.
Yeah. Sing it.
Nope, not doing it.
Not going to sing it?
Nope, my kids will because they
All
make
right.
fun of me, but
Have them send that to me so I can add it.
Yeah, Sergio
Yeah.
wants it.
Sergio will sing it.
So it all
I
fell
love it.
into play. The term second chance was born just from that.
Yeah. So secondchancerestoration.com, giving your furniture a second chance.
That's it. Now try and sing that.
Second Chance Restoration at charter.net. Definitely reach out to you for that. I mean, what an incredible story there. I mean, 8 months. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
I got to wait 8 months to get my banisters done.
Pretty much.
And actually, she
No,
basically said she doesn't want to do it.
I
She was like, I don't
sneak
really
some-
do that
I
anymore.
sneak some things in there. I do special things.
You
for-
work on like
Special
Columbus Day or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So awesome. So I hope people listen, tuned in, and consider you for any of that. Your other big passion, the Monroe Farmers Market. So
Who would have thought, you know, when you go to college, you're like, oh, I can't wait to be
yeah,
a market manager.
a market manager.
That's
Do you get
not my
paid for
goal.
that job?
I do not.
You do that out of your
Not.
love for
Love for not gardening because I have a black thumb for sure.
yeah. So what a segue, right? From being so crazy busy and then like you give up all of your time to look for sponsors and people that will contribute to this cause. And I actually creeped again, as I always do. There's a mission for the Monroe's Farmers Market.
There is.
The mission of the Monroe Farmers Market is to support producers of farm products in Connecticut and to provide members of the community with access to fresh, locally produced goods and healthy seasonal foods. We seek out only those products that are made and sold with integrity, heart, and soul. Did you write
I
this?
did not.
Oh my goodness, I'm crying. We provide weekly programs for all ages that seek to entertain, educate, and inform. The Monroe Farmers Market serves a community gathering. Serves as a community gathering place where the simple pleasures in life are abundant.
Doesn't it sound so idyllic?
It's when I drive by it because I live around the corner,
Right.
and I drive by it every Friday,
And you don't stop.
and I don't stop.
And by the way, Gaetano Morrow, Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, is one of our sponsors.
I was going to plug that. We are a proud sponsor of the Monroe Farmers Market.
3 years.
No, I drive by and it's awesome. And we were talking about some other local markets that seem to appear to be more like a food truck festival. And we don't look like that. I mean, it just looks cool. It's your local sponsors. It's your local farmers. So tell us about the why are you so passionate about the Monroe Farmers Market and where is it today with everything?
Don't forget, you're going to have to rein me in because this is like, I feel bad sometimes when people ask me about the market in mid-season because I will go on for hours.
Sure.
I literally could. And I'm not a farmer, so it comes out a little strange that I don't have that connection.
Mhm.
But oddly, I get to use my master's, my MBA
Sure.
in this because it's about marketing, it's social media,
Yeah.
it's scheduling, it's coordination, it's I help the vendors sometimes with design and placement of products in their booths and talk to them about how to engage with customers and things that I would like to see them doing. Like, I don't like them to sit, for example. No one will come up to your table if you're sitting. But if you're standing and you're willing to
Yeah.
show the products or
Play
answer any
cornhole.
questions, yeah, playing cornhole. You have to look like you are happy to see that
Yeah.
potential
Yeah.
customer.
Engage.
So anyway, this goes back 11 years ago. Again, my transition between peoples and now what do I want to do when I grow up? the market is in its 15th season. So from day one when it opened, I would go there on Fridays and I would be a social butterfly for 2 hours. I'd walk around talking to the people. And this was just as a customer. And Sue Muro, who was the founding market manager back in 2008, at what point she just said, "Can you just put on a market shirt and take us a
Just do it.
shift?
Just go to
Yeah,
work.
just take a shift.
Yeah.
Like you're here already, and it will
When
really
was
help
this?
me out." That would have been 11 years ago.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
2011. And
Okay.
I was like, okay. So I slapped on a shirt and moved into helping her with children's programming.
Mhm.
And then I said, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we did some event, like a back to school bash, for example? He said, let's do a special event. She's like, okay, you run with that.
Mhm.
And so I started a couple events. So I was the children's activities and special events coordinator
For the market.
for the market for about 8 years.
Okay.
And uh, then when Sue moved on to, she was looking to sell her house and working on her health. Yes, Shannon sold that house.
Yeah.
So
She's a
when
closer. Shannon's a
she
closer.
is, yes.
She closes everything.
So when Sue stepped down, Keith was one of our other volunteers. He took over for a few years, and then during COVID, he was more. He wanted to just stay remotely, whereas I was, let's go. I'm tired of being in the house. So we moved into an online model. He managed the whole online part of it,
Mm-hmm.
and I handled
Which is probably a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
your title now?
Market manager.
Market manager. Is that like a just self-proclaimed, or is all of the local
No,
farmers market?
That's what they're called.
They're
Yeah.
all called a market manager. So you're the big cheese. You're like, hey, you're wearing green shirts today. You're gonna.
Oh, wearing green.
Can you control what area the tent is for the sponsor?
I could.
You have big responsibilities.
So what's great is everything about the market
Yeah.
was already had the mission was already set, the website was already set, social media was already
Yeah.
set. Like everything was established when I
Yeah.
walked in.
Mhm.
So I was like half leading it back
Take
in
it to the next
2020.
level.
Right. And then when Keith stepped down in 2020 after that season was over, like it was just understandably it was a lot
Yeah.
because he spent a ton of time managing this
Yeah.
market and doing some extraneous stuff.
Yeah.
And then to move into 2 different models, it was
Okay.
enough. And
Yeah.
he had a kindergartner
Yeah.
doing
It's
the homeschooling.
I mean, it's a lot.
It was
You
bad.
got to really love this to do this, because it's going to
And he
take time
does.
away from your family and things that make money for you.
Right.
Right. For
And he
something that
did. He
doesn't.
was very involved for many years. I want to say like 8 years
Okay.
doing all this on the side. And it just crippled him.
Yeah.
And I understood it. So after some deep thinking, I said,
Yeah.
all right, I don't know who else I could turn this over to.
Yeah.
And I had a ton of new volunteers, people who had never volunteered before. We had
Yeah.
an entire new crew when we were on Fireman's Field for that
Yeah.
1 year. They all came back. So I took over like about November of 2020
Wow.
and just started planning for
Yeah.
the season.
And you've done incredible. When you drive by, it's like you kind of you want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
was interesting
pizza and
because, yes,
you
it was
know?
interesting because for me, there were some gaps in vendors. There were some things that I had wanted to do, but just didn't really have the invested interest in it. I was happy to just be a partner and help out. And then when I stepped up, I mean, I even used to just take my 2-hour shift
Yeah.
for the 8 years prior, and
Mhm.
sometimes that just wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'd go nuts if
Yeah.
one of my volunteers
Didn't
did
show
that.
up.
I was like,
Like, are you taking this seriously?
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it hard to lead volunteers who are volunteering?
They
Like, how do you
are
hold a volunteer
so
accountable?
I have 17 volunteers right now, and they are amazing. Most of
Yeah.
them have been with us for 3 years. They've been with us through COVID and then last year and this year. So I have quite a strong crew that's been with us for a few years.
Yeah.
Two volunteers have been with us for at least 8-10 years.
Wow.
One handles all our bookings of the
Okay.
music. So that's
Yeah.
great that I have some senior people to bounce ideas
Are you a
off of.
delegator? Or are you a do-it-aller?
A little of both.
Okay.
A little of both. What's nice is now this being almost my 3rd season is things are getting a little easier.
Yeah.
That first year, last year, I was like so gung ho. These are all these amazing projects that I want to do.
Yeah.
And I really burnt myself out the
Yeah.
first year and I reined it in. The biggest thing we did last year was participating in the American Farmland Trust voting. It was a celebration where we're supposed to increase awareness about farmers markets and vendors and support
Yeah.
each other and raise each other up because this is such an important initiative.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And we were every week we would ask people for votes, and
Hmm.
it was a little stalking,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was good, and
Yeah.
we understood, people understood that we were just trying to get to be Connecticut's favorite market.
Yeah. And
It was
so
my
that's
first year.
good. That was going to be my next question was
Yeah.
Monroe has been recently named the Monroe Farmers Market is the #1 farmers market in Connecticut
For the second time.
for the second
Yeah.
time.
So last year, it was interesting because we had a little drama. It was the Friday before the voting ended.
Hmm.
We had a couple hundred votes, no big deal. And I got a message from the Trumbull Farmers Market, who I had built a nice, strong relationship
Hmm.
with. We would bounce ideas off of each other and
Yep.
different vendors and what we thought. And they apparently the Massic students had spray painted Massic 22
I heard
in
about
the
this
driveway
drama.
at the Trumbull Farmers Market.
Oh,
And so
I
they
heard
sent
about
me a
this
picture
drama.
like, hey, I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah. So where are your cameras, Trumbull?
I know,
Right?
right?
How do we know? What do you know?
It's awful. So it says
Did you do
Massic
that?
20. No.
Did you organize
I
that?
wanted to create some drama. Let me do this. So they spray painted Massic 22. I was devastated because all of a sudden they're a much bigger town.
Yeah.
40,000 people.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I'm watching the numbers on the
And they're
on the
crushing
website.
you?
They're crushing us. They're coming in with hundreds by
Trumbull.
the hour. And I'm a
Careful,
mess.
careful. This guy lives in Trumbull.
Oh, my husband's family's from Trumbull. So I'm watching my dream of being Connecticut's #1 farmers market just
Fall-
being blown away.
Yeah.
So I wrote this very heartfelt post. I can't believe we're going to lose all my work this summer towards this because some kids selfishly
Yeah.
went and did this.
Yeah.
And, well, that little Facebook post went crazy viral. And within 48 hours, we had 4,400 votes.
That's ludicrous.
So we went from just having a few hundred to #1 in Connecticut, #1 in the Northeast, and
Wow.
3rd in the country.
Wow.
And we won $1,000. I was
Wow.
like, wait, how did
Awesome.
that even happen?
Listen, that's good. That's not luck. That's your hard work, and going viral is an interesting concept these days. That basically what that means is there's a whole bunch of people stand behind what you're doing.
Right.
It's a good thing,
Yeah.
and sometimes viral can not be a good thing, but
Right.
this in this case it's a good thing.
Yeah.
And it went out there. So that's a credit to all your hard work and effort and time
Yeah.
that you put into the market, and it clearly translates to your business if you're
Mhm.
8 months
Yeah.
booked out.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to somebody who is thinking about getting involved with the farmers market? Would you just have them reach out to you? Are you looking for volunteers or?
So volunteers, we're good. We're good right now, but
Okay.
we can always use more.
Okay.
Like this week, we're down 12
Okay.
volunteers.
Because of the holiday.
The fall is a little bit more challenging
Okay.
for sure than the summer,
Yeah.
but they can definitely reach out
Yeah.
and be a volunteer. We have a very strict requirement even for the vendors, like that mission that you mentioned.
Yep.
It helps keep me focused because some people will come and say, "Hey, I sell earrings." Okay, well that's great. We don't have artisans.
Okay.
We have visiting artisans. You can be an artisan and visit us, but you have to use locally sourced materials
Love it.
that you're using. We require cottage kitchen licenses.
Okay.
So if you are a baker, need to be a cottage kitchen right now. We have 2
Okay.
that are not, that we're grandfathered in, but
Okay.
everyone
Yeah, I
going
gotcha.
forward. It's all about keeping the community safe.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the idea of giving the small guy a break,
Totally.
but my #1 mission is to keep the community safe.
Yeah.
And I can't have
Yeah.
cottage kitchen licenses means you can bake things in your home,
Yeah.
but there's no oversight.
Yeah. It's just
Whereas a commercial kitchen, there's
Yeah.
temperatures, you got to wear your hair.
inspections
Yeah,
and
things
all
like
that kind
that.
of
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah. So there's
So
a
we
nice
try and
element
keep
of local and just homegrown that I think is why you continue to grow. I mean, and now this whole concept of eating healthy,
Yeah.
the gluten stuff. Our household is recently gluten free now for
Yeah.
a couple of reasons. So I think it's good. I think people maybe will start to live longer,
Right.
less diabetes. Eat better and eating natural. I think that's a great cause. So
And everything at our market is within 19 miles of the market.
okay,
Every item that you are
Yeah.
buying is within 19
Yeah.
miles. And when we won that $1,000 last year, one of the things I really, really, really wanted to implement
Mm-hmm.
for many years was a kids program.
Mm-hmm.
And so we launched this year a Market Minis program. And we tapped out of our money that we had won very quickly, and we
Yeah.
got a donation of another $500.
Okay.
And we were able to sign up 150 kids,
Wow.
which is
That's
great.
awesome.
So every single week they come and they do selfie scavenger hunts with the farmers,
Yeah.
or
You
they
always have fun stuff going on.
yeah,
Different
there's
themed weeks, grandparents, I think I saw.
yeah, we haven't done that, and like this
couple-
year, that was last
Was
year.
that last
I
year?
really maxed myself out last year.
Yeah.
This year, I said, okay, let's be streamlined. We're gonna
Yeah.
have one special event every single month.
Love it.
But for the minis,
Yeah.
we've had last week they did charcuterie snack boxes.
Cool.
All using items
That's
that
a
they
new
got
art now,
from the market.
charcuterie.
Yeah, the
Cool
kids
word.
loved it. They got to pick veggies and fruits and crackers and meats and things
Yeah,
like that, and
cool.
make little boxes.
Love it.
And they get to interact with farmers. They get to learn where the products are from. They
Yeah.
earn tokens to spend at the market.
Sure.
So that's been great. And then the tasting tent,
Yeah.
we have sampling every single week of items from 2 different vendors.
Awesome.
So that was all from the money that we won. And
Good.
now I can't.
$1,000
live
well
without it.
spent.
Absolutely.
Good.
It was the best investment ever.
Well, Kelly, this was awesome. I hope everyone that's listening gives your second chance restoration a chance.
Yes.
Right? Anybody looking to redo their kitchen or looking to do any kind of rehab on some furniture, I hope they reach out to you. That's secondchancerestoration.com.
Yep.
And for all of your efforts on the Monroe Farmers Market, they can go to monroefarmersmarket.com.
.org, yeah. And then they,
.org?
they can
Okay.
come every Friday. We're open till October 21st, 3 to 6 on the town green.
All right. Awesome.
4 more weeks.
Well, it was a pleasure.
Thanks
I
for
hope
having me.
everybody sees this. So everybody gives you a chance.
Yes.
And thanks for tuning in. The Expect Better podcast. Like, follow, subscribe. Kelly Plunkett, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you.